Have you ever noticed how your partner turns their face away exactly at the moment when you approach for a kiss? How they make excuses, pretend to be busy, or simply turn that intimate moment into something cold and calculated? If you're experiencing this right now, I have a devastating truth to tell you. It's not a coincidence, it's not a bad phase in the relationship, and it's definitely not your fault. What I'm going to reveal today will shock you, but it could be the key to finally understanding why you feel so rejected, so starved for affection, so confused about what's happening. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, identified these patterns over a century ago, and today science confirms narcissists have 7 cruel and calculated reasons for avoiding kissing their partners. These reasons aren't just random behaviors, they're deep psychological strategies that he uses to keep you exactly where he wants you, insecure, questioning your own worth, and completely dependent on the crumb of affection he decides to give you. Each denied kiss is a subtle but devastating form of emotional control. If you're recognizing yourself in this situation, if you're feeling a tightness in your chest right now, keep watching. Because what I'm going to show you will not only validate everything you've been feeling, but will give you the power to finally see the truth behind this cruel behavior. During the next few minutes, we'll uncover each of these 7 reasons together. Some will make you angry, others will make you cry with relief from finally understanding. And in the end, you'll have the clarity you've been searching for. The first cruel reason why narcissists avoid kissing their partners is devastatingly calculated. They transform your natural need for affection into a weapon of psychological control. He knows exactly how much you need that kiss, that moment of connection, and uses it against you. Think with me. How many times have you approached him seeking affection and been rejected? How many times have you felt that horrible sensation of not being desired? This isn't chance. Freud called this calculated affective deprivation, a way to keep the other person in a constant state of need. The narcissist studies your emotional patterns like a predator studies its prey. He notices when you're most vulnerable, when you most need validation. And it's exactly in those moments that he denies the kiss. Why? Because this keeps you in a cycle of constantly seeking his approval. Imagine the scene. You've had a difficult day, you come home needing comfort, you approach him seeking a moment of intimacy. What does he do? He turns his face away, says he's tired, or simply pretends he didn't see your movement. This isn't lack of interest, it's pure strategy. This constant rejection creates in you a state that psychologists call affective hunger. And you become so desperate for any crumb of affection that when he finally gives you a quick, superficial kiss, you feel disproportionate gratitude. He managed to make you value the minimum as if it were the maximum. The cruelest part of this strategy is that he knows exactly the impact it causes. He sees your frustration, your sadness, your confusion, and this feeds his ego in a sick way. For him, seeing you begging for affection is confirmation of his power over you. But here's a truth that might hurt. While he denies kisses to you, he's probably being extremely affectionate with other people. On social media, at work, with friends. The problem isn't an inability to show affection. It's the deliberate choice not to show it to you. By the way, tell me in the comments, what city are you watching this video from? I'm sure women across America are going through this at this exact moment, but this is just the first reason. The second will show you how he uses something even deeper against you. The second cruel reason is even more psychologically perverse. He avoids kissing because kissing represents real intimacy, and real intimacy is a narcissist's greatest terror. For him, each kiss is a threat to the emotional wall he's built to protect himself from being truly known. Freud said that narcissists live in constant terror that someone will discover who they really are beneath all that facade of superiority. The kiss, being an intimate and vulnerable gesture, represents exactly what he fears most, being truly seen. When two people kiss, there's a deep, energetic exchange. It's not just physical contact, it's emotional openness. It's allowing the other to enter your most intimate space. For you, this is something natural and desirable. For him, it's terrifying. Think about how he behaves in other intimate moments. He probably avoids deep conversations, changes the subject when you try to connect emotionally, or turns serious moments into jokes. The kiss is just another form of intimacy that he sabotages. The cruelest part is that he knows how much this hurts you. He sees you pulling away, sees your self-esteem being eroded, sees you starting to question if you're attractive, if you're lovable, if you're worth anything. And even seeing all this suffering, he continues creating barriers, because his need for self-protection is greater than any compassion for you. This avoidance of kissing also serves as a way to maintain emotional distance. He can be physically present, sharing the same bed, the same house, but emotionally he's miles away. The kiss would force a closeness that he simply cannot tolerate. It's important to understand that this has nothing to do with you. You could be the most beautiful, most caring, most understanding woman in the world. He would still avoid intimacy, because the problem is in him, in his inability to genuinely connect with another human being. But the third reason will show you how he uses this avoidance for something even more destructive. The third reason is perhaps the most calculating of all. He avoids kissing you to keep you in a constant state of emotional insecurity. For the narcissist, a confident partner is a threat. An insecure partner is easier to control, manipulate, and keep under his dominion. Every time he denies a kiss, every time he turns his face when you approach, every time he makes this intimate moment something cold and rejecting, he's planting seeds of doubt in your mind. Am I not attractive? Doesn't he love me anymore? What's wrong with me? Freud observed that emotional insecurity makes people more dependent and more willing to accept inadequate treatment. And that's exactly what the narcissist seeks. He wants you to doubt yourself, to question your worth, to feel like you need to reconquer his affection. This strategy is especially cruel because it attacks your femininity at its core. The kiss is one of the most basic forms of romantic validation, and when it's repeatedly denied, you start to feel unwanted, unloved, unvalued. It's as if he's slowly eroding your confidence in being worthy of love. The most perverse part is that he might even comment on your insecurity afterward. Why are you so needy? You're too clingy. I need space. He creates the problem and then blames you for reacting to it. It's sophisticated and devastating psychological manipulation. This artificially created insecurity makes you more malleable to other types of control. When you're always doubting your own worth, it becomes easier to accept criticism, easier to give in during arguments, easier to tolerate unacceptable behaviors. After all, if you're not even worth a kiss, why would you deserve something better? And here's what hurts most. He can be extremely affectionate with other people in front of you. With his daughter, with his mother, with female friends. This isn't coincidence. It's to show you that he's capable of affection, but chooses not to show it to you. But wait until you discover the fourth reason, because this one will reveal how he uses your own sexuality against you. The fourth cruel reason goes straight to the core of your femininity. He avoids kissing because he wants to keep sex and affection completely separate. For him, kissing represents love, emotional connection, relationship. And he doesn't want you to feel loved, he wants you to feel used. Freud identified that narcissists have a tendency towards sexual objectification. They see their partner not as a complete person with emotional needs, but as an object for satisfying their physical needs. Kissing humanizes the sexual experience too much for his taste. Think about how your intimate moments are. He probably avoids kissing during these situations, makes everything more mechanical, less emotional. He might even turn you around or avoid eye contact. This isn't shyness or personal preference, it's deliberate objectification. This separation between sex and affection is a way to keep you in a position of emotional submission. When there are no kisses, caresses on the face, deep looks, you feel more like an object of pleasure than like a beloved woman. And that's exactly what he wants. The cruelest part is that this deeply affects your sexual self-esteem. You start to feel used, devalued, as if your only function were to satisfy his physical needs. You lose connection with your own sensuality, with your capacity to feel desired as a whole person. He might even make comments that reinforce this objectification. Talk only about your body, ignore your feelings, treat you as if your emotional needs were irrelevant or exaggerated. All of this serves to keep you in the position of object, not partner. This dynamic also allows him to maintain parallel relationships more easily. If he can separate sex from affection with you, it becomes easier to do the same thing with other women. For him, there's no emotional betrayal because there's no emotion involved. But the fifth reason will show you something even more disturbing about how he sees you. The fifth cruel reason is devastatingly simple. He avoids kissing you because he doesn't want you to feel special, valued, or important in his life. For the narcissist, a partner who feels valuable is a partner who might eventually realize she deserves better and leave. Freud observed that narcissists have a pathological fear of abandonment, even though they themselves create the conditions for it. So they develop strategies to keep their partner in a position of low self-esteem, ensuring that this person never feels secure enough to leave. The kiss is one of the simplest but most powerful gestures to make someone feel special. It's a moment when two people connect, when there's an exchange of affection, when you feel chosen, desired, loved. And that's exactly what he wants to prevent you from feeling. Think about how you would feel if he kissed you every day in an affectionate, spontaneous, passionate way. You would feel loved, secure, confident in the relationship. You would know your worth. And that's the last thing he wants, because a woman who knows her own worth is a dangerous woman for a narcissist. This constant denial of affectionate gestures serves to keep you in a state that psychologists call chronic affective deprivation. It's as if you live always with an emotional hunger that's never satisfied. You become so desperate for any sign of affection that you accept crumbs as if they were banquets. The most perverse part is that he can use this same kiss that he denies you as an eventual manipulation tool. When you're about to make an important decision, when you're questioning the relationship, when you're being firmer, suddenly he might appear with a kiss. Not out of love, but to confuse you, to make you return to the state of hope and dependence. He knows you have other options. He sees how other men look at you, how you're valued in other areas of life. And that's exactly why he needs to keep your self-esteem low within the relationship. If you realized your real worth, you wouldn't accept being treated like a crumb. But the sixth reason will reveal the dirtiest manipulation of all. The sixth cruel reason is perhaps the most psychologically violent. He uses the rejection of kissing as a form of punishment whenever you don't behave exactly as he expects. For the narcissist, affection isn't a natural expression of love. It's a behavioral conditioning tool. Freud identified that narcissists use what we call intermittent reinforcement. They alternate between reward and punishment to keep their partner in a constant state of anxiety and seeking approval. The denied kiss is one of the most effective punishments because it directly attacks your basic need for connection. Observe the pattern. Whenever you express an opinion contrary to his, whenever you question something, whenever you're not available when he wants, whenever you show any sign of independence, affection disappears. It's not coincidence, it's conditioning. This punishment is especially cruel because it's silent. He doesn't need to yell, doesn't need to be explicitly aggressive. He simply removes affection, and this causes you more pain than any word. You're left not understanding what you did wrong, questioning every movement, every word, every breath. The most devastating part is that this punishment teaches you to nullify yourself to keep the peace. You learn not to express opinions, not to question, not to have your own needs, because you know, even if unconsciously, that any sign of autonomy will be punished with the withdrawal of affection. He might even do this more subtly, kiss you in a cold and mechanical way, without passion, without presence. It's as if he's saying, here's your kiss, but you don't deserve more than this. It's a way of giving the minimum so you can't complain, but making it clear that you're not in his good behavior. This dynamic creates in you a state of emotional hypervigilance. You're constantly monitoring his mood, trying to guess what he wants, modifying your behavior to avoid punishment. You become an emotional prisoner in your own relationship, and the seventh reason will show you the most shocking truth of all. The seventh and most devastating reason is this. He avoids kissing you because he's reserving his capacity for affection for other people. Yes, you read that right. He has affection to give. He has tenderness to show. He has kisses to distribute, but not for you. This is perhaps the most painful truth of all. The problem isn't that he's incapable of showing affection. The problem is that he consciously chooses not to show it to you. Freud called this pathological affective selection, the ability to be affectionate with some people while being cold with others. Observe how he behaves with other women in his life. His daughter, his mother, female friends, work colleagues, even strangers. He's probably charming, attentive, even affectionate. He might kiss his mother's face, hug female friends, be gallant with other women, but with you, he's cold, distant, rejecting. This isn't coincidence or a personality problem. It's a deliberate choice. He keeps you in affective deprivation while distributing charm and affection to other people. And do you know why? Because these other people don't represent the same type of threat to his control that you represent. With other people, he can turn the charm on and off when he wants. With you, who lives with him, who knows him intimately, who could expose his flaws, he needs to maintain a different dynamic. He needs to keep you insecure, needy, always doubting your own worth. The cruelest part is that he might even openly flirt with other women in front of you, be affectionate with them, show exactly the type of affection he denies you. And when you complain, he says you're being paranoid, jealous, exaggerated. He makes you question your own perception of reality. This reserve of affection for other people also serves as a way to keep you in constant competition. You find yourself comparing yourself to all the other women in his life, wondering what they have that you don't, why they deserve affection and you don't. But now that you know the 7 cruel reasons, you need to learn to identify the signs. Now that you know the 7 cruel reasons why narcissists avoid kissing their partners, it's fundamental that you learn to identify if you're being manipulated through the denial of affection. Many women spend years without realizing they're being victims of this subtle but devastating form of emotional abuse. The first sign is inconsistency in affectionate behavior. If he's only affectionate when he wants something from you, when he's in a good mood, or when you behave exactly as he expects, this is a clear sign of manipulation. Genuine affection shouldn't be conditional on your good behavior. Also observe if he uses the denial of affection as a response to any form of questioning or independence from you. If every time you express a contrary opinion, every time you're not available when he wants, every time you show any autonomy, affection disappears. You're being emotionally punished. Freud said that one of the clearest characteristics of narcissistic manipulation is making the victim question their own perception of reality. If you constantly ask yourself, am I exaggerating? Am I being too needy? Is it normal for a relationship to be like this? Your intuition is already giving you the answer. Pay attention to how you feel most of the time in the relationship. If you live in a state of affective anxiety, always waiting for crumbs of affection, always trying to guess his mood, always modifying your behavior to try to reconquer his affection, you're being manipulated. Another important sign is the glaring difference between how he treats you and how he treats other people. If he's capable of being affectionate, attentive, and loving with other women, but can't give you a spontaneous kiss, this isn't a personality problem. It's a deliberate choice. Also observe if he uses terms that minimize your affective needs. If he constantly says you're needy, clingy, demanding, when all you're asking for are basic gestures of affection, he's trying to make you believe that your normal needs are exaggerated. And the clearest sign of all, if you feel like you're begging for basic affection, if you find yourself begging for kisses, caresses, attention, you're definitely in a manipulative relationship. We've reached the most important moment of this video, how you can free yourself from this destructive cycle and recover your emotional dignity. The truth is that understanding the cruel reasons why he acts this way is just the first step. The second step is to act based on this knowledge. First, you need to accept a painful but liberating truth. He's not going to change. No matter how much you try, how understanding you are, how much you try to be the perfect partner. A genuine narcissist doesn't change because he doesn't see a problem with his behavior. For him, the problem is always you. Freud already observed that deep personality changes are extremely rare and usually require years of intensive therapy with a professional that the narcissist recognizes he needs help. And here's the problem. Narcissists rarely recognize they have problems. For them, everyone around them is wrong. The second liberating truth is this: you deserve much more than crumbs of affection. You deserve to be kissed every day, to be desired, to be valued, to be treated as a priority in someone's life, not as an option, not as a last resort, not as something that needs to be constantly reconquered. The first practical step to get out of this cycle is to stop seeking his validation. Stop trying to reconquer his affection. Stop modifying your behavior to please him. Stop accepting crumbs as if they were banquets. The more you seek, the more power you give him over your self-esteem. Start rebuilding your self-esteem independently of him. Reconnect with female friends, with hobbies, with dreams you abandoned. Remember who you were before him, how you felt valuable and complete. That woman still exists inside you. She was just temporarily eclipsed. Establish clear boundaries about what you accept and what you no longer accept. If he can't give you basic affection, if he emotionally punishes you, if he makes you feel less valuable, make it clear that this is no longer acceptable. And more importantly, maintain those boundaries, even when he tries to manipulate you to return to the old pattern. Seriously consider the possibility of ending the relationship. I know this might seem scary, especially if you've been with him for a long time, but think about it this way. What kind of life do you want for yourself? A life where you beg for basic affection, or a life where you're valued and genuinely loved? Seek professional help if necessary. A psychologist can help you understand the patterns that led you to accept this treatment and give you tools to build healthier relationships in the future. Remember, you're not responsible for healing him, for making him a better person, for teaching him how to love. You're only responsible for your own happiness and well-being, and you deserve much, much more than what you're receiving. If this video touched your heart, if you recognized yourself in these situations, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Share this content with other women who might be going through the same situation. In the comments, tell me, have you been through this? How was your experience? Your story can help other women free themselves too. And always remember, the problem was never you. You are worthy of true love, of genuine affection, of being a priority in someone's life. Don't accept less than that. Your life can be completely different. You just need to have the courage to believe you deserve more. Until the next video, and remember, you are stronger than you imagine.